I'd like to start off tonight by saying good evening. 6th Annual Gay and Lesbian Hall of Fame Induction Ceremony. My name is Shelton Watson. I am chairperson of the council and a member of the City of Chicago Commission on Human Relations Board of Commissioners. With the support of the City of Chicago, the Advisory Council on Gay and Lesbian Issues established the Hall of Fame in the June of 1991. The inaugural induction ceremony took place during the Gay and Lesbian Pride Week celebration at City Hall, hosted by Mayor Daley. This was the first event of its kind in the country, and it gives me great pleasure to say that while other cities such as New York, San Francisco, and Washington, D.C. tout themselves as gay meccas in this country, Chicago is still the only city in the country to honor the contributions of its lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender citizens in such a manner. The Hall of Fame is not only an auspicious occasion, it is an exhibit through which residents of the city of Chicago and the country are made aware of the efforts of our community and what they are doing in the areas of community life, health, education, the fight to end discrimination, homophobia, AIDS phobia, sexism. It is a privately funded entity through generous donations of individuals, businesses, organizations, staff supports provided by the Chicago Commission on Human Relations, and members of the Advisory Council who are volunteers. Tonight, 11 individuals and 2 organizations will be honored for their significant lifetime and special achievements, contributions that have made far-reaching effects in the lesbian gay community in the city of Chicago. Selections of inductees are made by former recipients of the award based on nominations that come from the community. It is my pleasure to introduce to you the guests with whom I share the platform this evening. It is a great pleasure that I introduce to you a familiar face to this platform. He has been here all 6 years of this induction ceremony because I believe he truly believes that the contributions that the gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender community makes to the city are important. I'd like to present to you now the Honorable Richard Mayor Daley.
Thank you very much, Shelton Watson, who's chair of the Advisory Council on Gay and Lesbian Issues, to Clarence Wood, who's chair of the Chicago Commission on Human Relations, and members of the Advisory Council on Gay and Lesbian Issues, as well as our newly elected State Representative Larry Mckeon. Would Larry stand up? Congratulations. As Shelton pointed out, Chicago is the only city that has sponsored this wonderful Hall of Fame that really represents the important contribution that each and every one of you as citizens and as organizations have given to the gay and lesbian community, as well as the city, the entire city. And outstanding citizens, and read their biography and their background, it makes a real statement about the city. I think it's very important, all of us, to take time out to read about their wonderful contributions to our city. And I deeply appreciate the Hall of Fame and all the other previous inductees who received the recognition from the community. And I would say to all of you, this says a lot about our city and about our community, but we have a long way to go as well. On a personal point, I want to thank Larry for his great contribution to the Advisory Council and to me as mayor. He's been a friend of mine and a trusted advisor. And of course, we're working very closely with him in Springfield. His great contribution to his state representative as well as to the state. And this is a great compliment to Larry's career. And let's give Larry another round of applause. tonight is not my night. Tonight is the inductees' night, and I just want to congratulate each and every one of them and thank them for their wonderful contribution to make this city an open and freer, a better understanding city. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor. Clarence Wood is the chair of the Commission on Human Relations. As my boss, there is not enough good that I can say about him. He has worked tirelessly to make Chicago the bias-free city that we'd all like to see it become. I'd like you to join me in welcoming Mr. Clarence Wood.
Let me thank Shelton for telling the truth. A truth that others may feel but have not been brave enough to say. Let me thank the mayor for his reappointment of me, which means that this truth may go on for another 3 years. Let me also congratulate Larry Mckeon. Larry has been a staff member at the commission for a seemingly lifetime with me. I congratulate him. I am pleased with his election, and as a friend I am proud of him and look forward to him working with us in the state and helping carry the message to the state that he has been so capably carrying in the city of Chicago. And Larry, we thank you. And while I am pleased with all of the inductees tonight and congratulate all of them, I cannot help but single out one who has, as we said tonight, in the trusted words of most politicians, there are no permanent friends or permanent enemies. I would share with you the fact that Charlotte Neufeld and myself have become permanent friends because we have been willing to challenge and to raise questions, to fight each other, and to fight the system. And we are still here in Charlotte. We will keep fighting, issue by issue. Well, one way to look at our identities, whether gay, lesbian, African American, or disabled, and the sometimes overlapping names of communities to which we belong, is that they are like glass windows, given to us potentially containing us. They lie in front of our eyes. We can't help but see life through them. Our lives transpire behind them. But we must never forget to open them up to the greater world. The windows can be opened. I commend the communities of gays and lesbians for raising their windows high. The massive and spirited turnout that I see here this year and every year is a confident, orderly, eloquent declaration. But it's much more than a declaration of high regard for your own communities and their parts played in raising up this country. The added meaning of the Chicago Gay and Lesbian Hall of Fame is that gays and lesbians, as open, flowering, and coming-of-age communities, are ready to share with all of America. Intergroup relations in our nation need not be adversarial. For America, when it's at its best, has its mind open, exalts its variety, thrives on change, and lives up to its promises of respect and fair treatment for all. As community exchanges with community, the common good is served. Pundits inform us that white people are expected to comprise a population minority in America by the year 2000. Now, not being white, that doesn't cause me to worry. But neither should it panic those persons called white. America's makeup has traditionally been in a state of flux, and attending cultural changes should adequately prepare us for the new population dynamic. America is a nation steeped in multis because Americans come here from everywhere, speak their own languages, and ought to be able to practice their lifestyles and cultures free of interference. You know what it means to be deprived of civil and human rights. I call upon the gay and lesbian communities to continue to use your combined strength against all the isms of hate, racism, sexism, homophobia, and narrow-minded conception that keeps America from really being America. In closing, I again congratulate all of the inductees into this year's Chicago Gay and Lesbian Hall of Fame. You have a room with a view. You have gazed through the window of being gays and lesbians to see a vision of an inclusive America, where everyone in the process of being who they really are can be considered by all Americans as real Americans. I congratulate you, I thank you, and look forward to working with you in the future.
Thank you, Clarence. I think it's going to be a rough 3 years. This is the part of the ceremony that kind of turns into the Academy Awards. And I'm going to introduce to you our presenters for this evening. She is a 1995 inductee, a psychotherapist and social worker who specializes in health and civil rights for gay men and lesbians, and has been an influential health educator for all of the city of Chicago. He is an internationally known dancer and choreographer, founder of the Joe Hall Dance Center and the Joe Hall Dancers, who are now appearing in their third year at the Overwork Theater in Nuts and Bolts. You owe me for that commercial. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1993. Please welcome to the stage Ms. Karen Berman and Mr. Joel Hall.
Hi, gang.
Do you know which is the choreographer, which is the social worker?
Shall I start? Mm-hmm. Jacqueline Anderson is a doer who doesn't boast about the work she's done for the gay and lesbian Chicagoans. She has told others that she loves what she does. Maybe this is the secret of her lasting contributions. She's been an assistant professor at Olive Harvey College since 1975. Her many publications have added to academic discussion about lesbianism and feminism. Jackie Anderson has also been a steadfast volunteer in the gay and lesbian community. She helped establish a lesbian community center project clinic on Chicago's South Side. Her leadership of the Yahimba organization has led to at least 2 citywide conferences on the need of African American lesbians. She has supported the Institute of Lesbian Studies, the Mountain Moving Coffee House, and Gerber Hart Library. Other activities, right on, that's right, baby. Other activists call her one of their role models. She has helped pave the way to higher self-esteem and community empowerment for many gay and lesbian individuals. It is a great pleasure to welcome Jacqueline Anderson into Chicago Gay and Lesbian Hall of Fame.
We're going to be going up and down all night, aren't we? We got a lot of wonderful people to appreciate. Jack Delaney. Delaney's activism started in 1977 when he joined Dignity Chicago, the organization for lesbian and gay Roman Catholics. He subsequently served Dignity as a board member and president and was elected to 2 terms on Dignity's national board. From 1977 through 1981, Delaney belonged to the Tavern Guild of Chicago and was elected to the Rhodey Memorial Fund, remaining with it through the purchase of a gay and lesbian community center in 1984. He was active in the Windy City Athletic Association from 1980 through 1989 and was elected WCAA Commissioner in 1984 and 1985. During the formative years of Chicago House Social Service Agency, Delaney rose from the ranks of volunteers on the board, Human Resources and Nominations Committee, to chair the board of directors from 1990 to 1992. In 1989, Alderman Mary Ann Smith asked Delaney to start and co-chair the 48th Ward Gay and Lesbian Coalition, now called the North Lakeshore Gay and Lesbian Coalition. And he also sat on the Alderman's Steering Committee. This outstanding volunteer and citizen has also been a board member of the Illinois Federation of Human Rights Political Action Committee, and in 1995 he was elected to the Edgewater Community Council. For his long service, leadership, and ability to unite people, many organizations are indeed indebted to Jack Delaney as they grow and flourish. We are very happy to welcome Jack Delaney to the Chicago Gay and Lesbian Hall of Fame.
Arlene Helco has been honored before for her many volunteer contributions, so it's no surprise to see her here tonight to receive another. In 1975, she joined Dignity Chicago, became its first lesbian president, and led the group through a period of steady growth. Her contributions to serving people with HIV and AIDS have been substantial. She was one of 9 co-founders of Chicago House in 1985. She helped get it in solid financial shape by promoting bar nights, tag nights, Christmas bazaars, and rummage sales, as we are very familiar with. When Chicago House bought its first facility in 1986, Arlene Helco oversaw the entire building renovation. She also helped in selecting a site for Chicago House's Edgewater facility, and for 2 years she headed Chicago House's nominating committee, which helped bring new talent to the board. Arlene Helco has been a tireless advocate for people with HIV and AIDS. Because of her passion and professionalism, her contributions to the gay and lesbian Chicagoans will not be forgotten. It's a great pleasure to welcome Arlene Helco to Chicago Gay and Lesbian Hall of Fame.
I want to tell you about Greg Harris. Some of you already know, I know. We know all about these wonderful people. Greg, since 1992, as an openly gay man living with AIDS, Harris has worked as chief of staff for 48th Ward Alderwoman Mary Ann Smith. In that capacity, he has been instrumental in changing many attitudes about gayness and AIDS. Since the beginning of the HIV epidemic, Harris has devoted untold amounts of volunteer time to AIDS-related causes. He co-founded and was the first president both of AIDS Walk Chicago and of Open Hands Chicago. He innovated regular meetings among board members of local AIDS organizations in order to promote intergroup cooperation, and he has served on boards of other AIDS organizations. Harris has been active in numerous electoral campaigns. He co-founded an organization called Lesbians and Gays in Government as a support networking group for Chicago's lesbian and gay government employees. He has also shepherded projects of significance to the AIDS community through the governmental process. And he has been active in working for domestic partnership benefits, for local government employees, and for a domestic partnership registry. Among his other awards, Harris has received the Award for Outstanding Service to the immigrant and refugee community of Chicago. In light of his unceasing dedication over the years to persons with HIV/AIDS, both as a volunteer and as a city worker, Greg Harris is now recognized for his enduring spirit, and we welcome him to the Chicago Gay and Lesbian Hall of Fame.
As a producer, remixer, and DJ, Frankie Knuckles is the innovator of popularizer of house music known throughout the world as Chicago House. Okay. The term house comes from warehouse, the name of the famed underground club in Chicago where Frankie Knuckles drew huge crowds in the 1970s and 80s, of which I was one. He grew up in the Bronx in the 60s, and after starting as a DJ in Manhattan, moved to Chicago in 77 and stayed here for 10 years. He still makes occasional guest appearances here. Occasional, we'll have to speed that up, baby. Frankie Knuckles has been a DJ of international superstar stature for 9 years. But with the release of his 2 albums, he spends more time these days remixing and producing. In Frankie Knuckles, Chicago gay and lesbian audiences have helped nurture a talent with what seems to be boundless potential. He has repaid them by providing countless hours of self-affirming musical involvement and bringing a new art form out of Chicago to the world. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a great pleasure for me to welcome Mr. Frankie Knuckles to the Chicago Gay and Lesbian Hall of Fame.
Are we warming up? Huh? I'm going to tell you about Toni Midnite. Okay. Toni Midnite first came to Chicago as a female impersonator in 1951. Where were you, right? Where were you in 51? 2 years later, he opened a studio as a costume designer and eventually was working 16-hour days, meeting demand from around the world. He quietly defied the Chicago Police Department when it tried to stop him from working as an impersonator in the early 1950s. To pursue his chosen calling, He booked the Jewel Box Review into the Roberts Show Lounge on the South Side. The review, billed as 25 men and a girl, included 25 impersonators and a lesbian. It was booked for 2 weeks, but stayed 8 months and packed the house. Impersonators have been able to perform here since, with comparatively little hindrance. Midnite was a book reviewer for Gay Life and other publications. In 1978, he was the subject of a Gay Life series that contained much history of gay life in Chicago from the 1950s onward. And at age 70, in fact, he got the announcement about getting this award during his birthday week. Well, he's working on a book about the Jewel Box Review. Even in later years, Midnite remained militant. He took part in the 1977 Medina Temple demonstration against Anita Bryant. You remember that? He also took part in the Daly Center protest against police harassment at Carroll's Speakeasy during Mayor Burns' administration. Because of his talent in costume design, his penchant for defying police harassment, for being ahead of his time, Toni should be remembered, and we're happy to welcome him to the Chicago Gay and Lesbian Hall of Fame.
Morton has given energy, enthusiasm, and talents to many gay and lesbian community groups and businesses. She was the first African-American president of the National Organization for Women's Chicago chapter. She set up the chapter's Women of Color Committee and its Lesbians' Rights Committee. As a video producer, she has revealed the experiences of African-American lesbians through a documentary called Nia Project. Nia is the Swahili word for purpose. She has also contributed to books that discuss those experiences. Through her documentary work, Mary Morton has tried to reach not only African-American lesbians, but their immediate and extended families as well as a wider audience. In 1993, Mary Morton was honored by Sculpture Chicago's public art display through the placement of a boulder and plaque in her name on Wacker Drive's Riverfront Walk. In case you didn't know that. To commemorate her work as a community activist and advocate, tonight we would like to honor her. It's a great pleasure to welcome Mary Morton to the Chicago Gay and Lesbian Hall of Fame.
There's a whole lot of kissing going on. Good. Hey. I'm going to tell you, Ifti Nasim. It's very special. This Chicagoan who was born in Pakistan has written gay-related poetry in Urdu. said to be the first direct statement of gay longings and desires ever published in that language. The publication of Nasim's book of poetry, Narman, has initiated both wild praise and hateful criticism. The best type of praise. Okay. Because Nasim's publisher knew there might be trouble having the manuscript typeset, the publisher stood over the printer's shoulder as a text was entered into the computer. The real nature of the manuscript was not evident to the printer until the books were printed. Because of the ensuing controversy, the work is being sold underground. Publication of Narman has produced some positive change in Pakistan. Narman raises issues related to Islam's tolerance for homosexuals. Nasim, who believes he has a close and personal relationship to his God, believes God wouldn't have created me if he didn't want me to lead a happy and fulfilled life. In 1993, he became the first third world poet to read at the Harold Washington Library in Chicago. For his poetic work, he received an award from Chicago's South Asian Family Services in 1994. As co-founder of Sangat Chicago, he has also displayed a leadership role in the city by launching an organization to provide education and support for gay and lesbian South Asians. Nasim has served as president of the South Asian Performing Arts Council of America and is also a top salesman at Lober Motors. Okay. Ifti Nasim's model of courage has enriched our entire community, and we are very happy to welcome him into the Chicago Gay and Lesbian Hall of Fame.
For years, Norm Sloan has been registering voters, especially gay and lesbian voters. Since 1988, he has signed up 38,000. Now that's a lot of people. In some heavy weeks, he has registered 1,000 or 2,000 people. He could be so steadfast only with a clear vision, a vision that lesbians and gay men will have their say in democracy. Now, I have seen Norm out there, my dear, when I've gone to 7-Eleven. And there he is, sitting out on Halsted Street at his little table, okay, working the children. Okay, so I want you to know that. I love you for it, Norm.
You know, when we have a permanent exhibit for the Gay and Lesbian Hall of Fame, we should put that table in the exhibit.
See? As a matter of fact, I had gone to 7-Eleven once and asked this guy if I could register some people, and he said, oh, Norm is taking care of that. So he gets around. You've probably seen him at his registration table. He set it up in all parts of Chicago, always visibly identified with a lesbian and gay organization. Once it was the Lesbian and Gay Progressive Democratic Organization, or Lesbian and Gay Voter Impact. Nowadays, it's the Illinois Federation for Human Rights. He spends countless hours at this. When he has any time left over, he's likely to be giving it to groups such as Ballet Chicago, the International Theater Festival, and the Saints, which assists small theater companies because he is an arts and music lover as well as a political activist. Because of the efforts of people like Norm Sloan, elected officials have paid more and more attention to lesbian and gay voters. We have a lot to thank him for. It's a great pleasure to welcome Norm Sloan to the Chicago Gay and Lesbian Hall of Fame.
At age 18, Tiffany St. Cloud's youth seems not to match her passion for people and her leadership ability. Yet St. Cloud was a motivating force behind organization of a student group called Pride at Chicago's Whitney Young High School. Okay. Not yet. All right. This is Tiffany's mother, right? Okay, this is Tiffany's mother, Karen St. Cloud, and she's going to accept the award. But I'm going to tell you more. All right. Okay. So she's here representing Tiffany. Tiffany's studying hard. You're going to hear about it. The group that she formed in 1996 exists to provide support for all students at Whitney Young, including gay, lesbian, and bisexual students. And it helps them overcome the prejudice by promoting tolerance, to educate students about issues affecting those perceived to be different. Though many lesbian and gay youth have begun to come out in the 1990s, those who come out still do so with trepidation. They particularly fear rejection by their peers and families. For the Whitney Young student group, most resistance came from the student body, though within a few months it became the school's second largest organization. We are everywhere, and we know who we are. Okay? The Pride group has created an atmosphere in which students can learn to be comfortable with themselves and develop confidence. With confidence, they can develop their own value systems and elevate their self-esteem. This is critical, since low self-esteem is correlated with the high incidence of gay and lesbian suicide among youth. Tiffany St. Cloud is out to her family and friends, as we can see. She believes that silence aids those who could oppress others. St. Cloud currently pursues her education as a first-year student at Smith College in Northampton, Massachusetts. Good for her. Sure, Northampton, right? Yeah, I want to go. This teen's quiet nature belies her courage and leadership, both of which she has used to serve others. We appreciate her mom here today to accept the award, Karen St. Cloud. Thank you. We welcome Tiffany into the Gay and Lesbian Hall of Fame.
1970s, Charlotte Neufeld has been a vocal friend to the gay and lesbian Chicago community. Her contributions to our community include advocating to appoint a mayoral liaison during Mayor Washington's administration and to pass Chicago's Human Rights Ordinance. Hello. In the early 1970s, Charlotte Newfeld published articles urging greater participation by gay and lesbian Chicagoans in the political process. She supported Chicago's first openly gay political candidates in the late 1970s, and she herself was one of the first candidates to hire openly gay staff when she ran for the city council in 1982. While vice-chairing the Chicago Commission on Women, she successfully lobbied to appoint open lesbians to the commission. And she has lobbied for more funding of the city's AIDS services and education budget. Besides all of her gay-specific advocacy, Charlotte Neufeld is a respected and longtime advocate in her own Lakeview neighborhood. Tonight, her contributions to the larger community, as well as to gay and lesbian Chicagoans, receive one more honor. It's a great pleasure to welcome Charlotte Neufeld to the Gay and Lesbian Hall of Fame.
We're hot. In 1989, Bailiwick Repertory launched its annual Pride series with a production of Robert Chesley's Gerber. You remember? Okay. Bailiwick is the only regional theater in America with an ongoing programming arm that serves the gay and lesbian community. Chicago's number one. Okay. During the past 9 years, the Pride series has presented more than 120 gay and lesbian plays, musicals, and performance pieces. Even though the first Pride series featured only 3 late-night or off-night shows, there was some anxiety that producing a gay and lesbian play series might jeopardize Bailiwick's funding sources. The fears proved unfounded, as the series met overwhelming audience response and led to extended runs. This year, Pride 1996 was a 3-month festival that played in all 3 of Bailiwick's theater spaces, and more than 25,000 persons attended. Okay? We are proud. The Pride series continues to take chances and grow. Now new pieces are showcased throughout the year. In sponsoring benefits for some of Chicago's lesbian and gay nonprofit organizations, the Pride series has also generously contributed to the community. Visibility and diversity are principles that the Bailiwick Repertory uses to showcase many facets of gay and lesbian life. Accepting the award will be Bruce Ives, business manager, and David Zack, executive director. We're pleased to produce Bailiwick, Chicago Gay and Lesbian Hall of Fame.
Now in its 15th anniversary year, Gerber Hart Library is a growing presence in the Chicago gay and lesbian community. Gerber Hart has recently been able to hire its first full-time library director, and computerization of the collection records is well on its way to completion. Gerber Hart's worldwide website is visited by more than 1,000 persons per month, and some 30 email reference questions are handled monthly. Gerber Hart also serves as a cultural center, mounting or corresponding many exhibits and other programs. The library has come a long way since it was in a basement on Sheffield Street. It now has more than 10,000 titles, and it has an extensive and growing historical archives collection with an active archives department program underway. Gerber Hart is already outgrowing its Paulina Street quarters and is searching for a new location to occupy within the next couple of years. As the library looks ahead, we commend it for its past accomplishments. With an active board and growing support, Gerber Hart Library should have a bright future as a repository for gay and lesbian history and culture. Accepting this Gay and Lesbian Hall of Fame Award for Gerber Hart is Joyce Bollinger, President of the Board of Gerber Hart.
Thank you, Karen. And Joe, can we have another round of applause for our presenters, please? And can we have a large round of applause for all of the 1996 Hall of Fame inductees? Now, to show the 1996 inductees what type of company they're in, can I have all the previous inductees of the Hall of Fame who are present please stand? We are truly everywhere. With the exodus of the executive director of the council, our sole staff person, this Hall of Fame induction ceremony was will be known as the Hall of Fame that almost wasn't. With a lot of scheduling conflicts with the council, with the cultural center, with the mayor's office, with a lot of communication lost back and forth, it took a lot of effort from volunteers on the council and from members of the community to pull this event off tonight. Two of those people are sitting on the platform, and I'd like to introduce them to you. These people have, as volunteers of the council, done an excellent job of picking up the slack, carrying the ball, heeding the call, and any other phrase that you could think of to describe what going above and beyond the call of duty really means. Joining me on the platform for the first time in my tenure on the council are the co-chairs of the Hall of Fame committee and of the Hall of Fame event itself. Please welcome to the platform Ms. Laura Rissover and Mr. Gary Chichester.
I hope you've all had an enjoyable evening this evening. I was in Washington, D.C. a month ago and for the quilt display. And one thing that was constant over that weekend was the word remember. And this is another positive way of us taking our heritage and remembering those people who have given so much before us and who helped to make our community what it is today and how much longer we have to go. I'd like to thank everyone who helped with this event. The businesses, the individuals, the inductees who have given so much. There are certain businesses I would like to bring out right now. Sidetrack, as everyone in this room knows, when you ever need anything, you can call on, Peppy and Art and Chuck and the staff there, and it's done. Tracy Bame and all her staff over at Nightline. I thought she was going to kill me this week. I also would like to thank the staff and the management of Buddy's Restaurant and Bar. Without them, this event could not be possible. But I've also picked two little awards that I'd like to give out myself personally. The first is which to the woman who behind the man, I guess. Laura Rissover, Dad. A certificate to honor her work for the Hall of Fame in the last 3 years as co-chair. I'd like to present this certificate of appreciation. And I have another award here, but like all the politicians that have been in this room tonight, they seem to be leaving like crazy. The mayor did send his regrets and apologies. He was not feeling well, and Clarence Wood did have another commitment, so he had to leave also early. But I was hoping Mr. Mckeon would stay here because the Advisory Council of the Hall of Fame would not be what it is today without State Representative-elect from the 34th District, the state of Illinois, Larry Mckeon. But he's obviously stepped out, but here's his appreciation certificate. He's not hiding in back shaking hands or anything, is he? Okay. You're right, the election's over. Now he's got to go to work. Going to Europe? Cool. Right now, that concludes our awards. After another thank you to Joel and to Karen and to Shelton also, and especially, and the council staff and volunteers. And Tom Domkowski is also saying money. That's one thing that does keep us going. With all the support from the city that we receive, we don't receive any cash. So every once in a while, when you see us doing a benefit for this event, please come out and help us out along. We can really appreciate it. But right now there is food, there are beverages, we will be going, and now it's time to get to meet these people that you've heard so much about in the last 45 minutes. Thank you one and all.